Okay, Chapter 2, Experiments. A minute later, I'm sitting alone on my bed. I've got my dark green robe on, so when I look down at my legs and my arms, the shapes are right. But I hold up my hand and the floppy sleeve slides down my arm, and I can't see the arm or the hand on the end of it. I get up and turn on my desk lamp. It's a bright light, and I put my hand under it, palm down. I can feel the heat. I can't see my hand, but I do see something else. I see a very faint shadow of my hand on the green desk blotter. I start opening and closing my hand, watching the shadow of something I can't see. I'm so into it I don't notice my dad until he's right next to me. He says, "That's interesting." And I jump, and my hand hits the light, and the shade makes this bong. I should have locked my door. Dad says, "So what do you make of that? Can't you see it?" "But it makes a shadow, except it's not a normal shadow, is it?" I know that tone of voice. It means Dad already has the answer and he wants me to say, "Duh, I don't know," so he can show me how smart he is, again. But I know the answer, or I think I do, so I say, "It means my eyes can't see my hand, but the light from the lamp can't go all the way through it, I guess." Dad is nodding. "Bingo! When you came to the kitchen you said you were invisible, and you are, but what does that mean?" "You know the stealth bomber? The Air Force calls that plane invisible. Well, is it?" I say, "No, not really invisible, but radar can't see the plane, so it's invisible to the radar." Dad says, "Bingo! That plane is invisible to the radar, but does the plane make a shadow when it flies between the Earth and the sun?" "Yeah, because the plane's still there, right?" "Bingo! And you're still here too, but you're invisible to the human eye. Now, how does that eye work?" I'm playing along because this isn't one of Dad's usual lectures, like where he sucks all the fun out of a roller coaster by talking about G-forces and potential energy. This stuff is important to me. I may not be the greatest student, but I read all the time and I remember everything. I know a few things too. So I replay some sixth grade science for him. The eye picks up light through a lens, and the light makes an image inside the eye, and that image gets sent into the brain. Bingo! So why can't we see this hand? Now he's got hold of my hand at the wrist, and he's shaking it up and down under the light. Because the eye isn't getting an image? Bingo! Because what does it need to make an image? Dad's too excited now, so he answers his own questions. It's one of the things that stinks about living with a genius. The eye needs light, and there isn't any light bouncing off your hand and into our eyes. Look at my hand. He holds my hand next to his big hairy one, the one with the Caltech ring on it. Same light, and bingo, there it is, because the light bounces off of my hand and into our eyes. We see one hand, but there are two shadows on the desk. How come? Because even though your hand doesn't reflect any light, it's not transparent, and the reason that your shadow is faint and mine isn't must be because my hand stops the light and yours just bends it some. That's called refraction. Bingo!